called again?
Convincing Idiots.
Convincing Idiots.
Called it ham gravy.
I informed them that I sided with the stat man, not just anyone's opinion, the stat man Brian Fisher.
These kids today.
Jingle All the Way is in fact the best Christmas movie of all time.
I need to get Grandma a present, and my herpes is flaring up. I got it.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, yo, yo. I'm the millennial
We're
Santa.
three friends representing three different generations. That's our whole shtick. That's our thing.
Mm-hmm.
Nick got the whole poop.
Mm-hmm.
I'm standing in the sea
Awesome.
breeze, holding a turd, just mightily. I'm just going hitting hats.
Anyway, on a lighter note,
Getting good, getting wild, getting
Hey.
free.
Convincing Idiots is on in 5, 4, 3.
And welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the vodcast. Welcome to the broadcast. Boys and girls, welcome to the show. This is Convincing Idiots. My name's Dean, the Xennial.
I'm Brian, Gen X.
And playing the part of your millennial this evening, I am Nick. And we welcome you to another episode of Convincing Idiots. We are three friends representing roughly three different generations, talking about all things nerd and pop culture. We are available on all social media platforms. If you want a list of those, you can just go find them on our Convincing Idiots Linktree. Linktreee. Convincing Idiots Linktree. Type it in Google. It'll give you all of our social media accounts as well as the places that you can listen to it. Email. Our website is another handy place to find that. That would be convincingidiots.wordpress.com. Once again, everything on social media, all the places you could find us. We're available almost everywhere that you listen to podcasts, including a new one, Verbal. That's right. So all the people on Verbal for all this time that have been like, what is this Convincing Idiots podcast? I've been hearing so much about. Like, what is it? Why can't I access it? People of Verbal, fear no more. We are here to pleasure your ear holes starting now. So we hope you are going to enjoy us. We will enjoy you. So yes, everywhere, email, all that stuff's on there. So come check us out on there. I have a quick question.
I just talked to
Interrupting Dean. This is Interrupting Dean, people of Verbal. This is what he does. The second you start to say something.
No, they know because I talked to two people on Verbal, and they just said, I cannot wait till Nick comes. I think they were talking about the podcast, but I don't know.
Those are the people from Gerbil that you spoke to. Actually,
Get those apps mixed up all the time.
Yeah, not Verbal. I'm not on Verbal. They don't know about me on Verbal. But on Gerbil, GRBL, they definitely know about me on there. No, I was when Brian entered, and I mean nothing by this, but there's so many podcast platforms. It begs the question: doesn't everybody either use like Google Podcast, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify, or SoundCloud? Those are probably like the big four, eh? Like, is there? And I'm not saying, it just makes me wonder. I'm like, what? How many? There's so many podcast podcast players out there. So it does. It makes me wonder, how that goes, or if it's just for the love of the game these people put it together.
Well, I will give a shout out to our platform that we use, Anchor, to get the podcast out there. So again, this is our
we love
sponsor.
Anchor,
right? Yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
and Anchor's the Anchor. I mean, really, you don't need any of the ones I just mentioned because Anchor, you can make your own and play anything. So Anchor's the way to go.
That's correct.
One-stop shop.
That's right. It's very easy to use. So once and this is our ad. So if you listen to us at all, that's the ad read that I do for Anchor, which you get when you register with them. It doesn't cost anything. Like I said, they do all the main legwork for you. You have to do a little bit of legwork on some platforms to get your feed out there, but once you get it going, it's there. And I'm going to hold it up to the screen here, but they give you nice analytics with your podcast, which includes the question that Nick just asked. Where do people listen? And to answer your question, Nick, about half of the listeners use Apple Podcasts. So
Okay.
that is the majority of
All
it.
right.
And then some use Anchor, some use a web browser. So some are finding us on the website there and playing through there. And then
Very cool.
Perfect.
Overcast and Spotify are up there as well. And then there's a whole mix of other. So about 32% are other. So between Apple and other is a mix of, you know, it's not going to be verbal
all
just
the
yet, but it's
other
going to
ones,
be
yeah.
some of these other ancillary ones out there
Sure.
that people are finding us and picking us up and listening here and there. So, yeah, definitely Apple Podcasts is clearly the. But like I said, all the stats are there on Anchor. You get the demographics of your listeners, age groups, countries, all that stuff is there using Anchor. So check that out.
Cool.
Coolio.
So anyway, now that we're done with my
Mhm.
incessant question asking, what
You're
you
a
guys
pill.
been up to?
That's what you are. You're a
been
pill.
up to? I'm a pill. What have you guys been up to since we last spoke?
Do you go ahead?
Oh, well, I don't know. Well, you know, I got to watch Spider-Man with a good friend and Nick, and then I got to. No, we all got together, and we'll talk about that. I think that's a lot of what we'll talk about. I got 2 frost cookies, holiday cookies for the first time that I've never done.
You were able to frost them, or you got like quantity of 2 frost cookies?
No, I was able to.
Okay.
I got to make cookies. I got to do the designs and stuff.
Say, how sad are you if you get excited? It's noteworthy to get quantity of 2 frost cookies.
No.
Cookies.
I did a whole bunch. I did a whole bunch, and they were beautiful. Yeah.
Cool.
You know,
Good.
everybody just hung out over the weekend, had some good quality family time and friend time, and like it's hot in here. Hold on. So yeah, it's very hot in here. So other than that,
Dean.
not a lot going on.
Oh my God, you look like a friend of mine so much.
Look, he can't take it back. He can't take it back. He said I'm a friend of his.
You said you look like a friend of mine.
Oh.
So on video, Dean has just revealed that he is completely shaved. So my first question is why?
Well, every time I look in the mirror, and look at pictures, I have been looking at my hairline that is thinning and moving away, and it got obnoxious and annoying. And
Is this it? Is this it? This is it?
I don't know.
Okay.
We'll see.
Bald Dean is a vibe.
But I mean,
Hashtag Bald Dean.
Hashtag
But I also
Bald
have the
Dean,
beard.
Hashtag new metal. Hashtag
I
biker
kept the
chain.
beard.
Hashtag tribal tattoo. Hashtag.
The beard is still here and thick, but the hair is gone with razor, mind you.
Nice. Wow. How does that feel? Is it super weird?
No, it feels good actually.
But I mean, I mean, as far as I've known you, you've never been bald.
I used to do it before I met you. When I was in my 20s, I would do it about once a year.
Okay, I would say you've buzz cut it very short since I've known you.
This is
maybe
razored,
once or twice. Wow,
this is razored. There was this one time that I thought it would be fun to see what happens, and I shaved everything but my eyebrows. Literally from head to toe, everything but my eyebrows. Yeah, that was I felt like a little baby, like literally a big fat baby. It was.
Did you stand in the mirror and look at your glistening skin self?
I did. And I put baby oil everywhere and just.
You look like a thumb, like a big old thumb. Well, I think it looks nice. It does. It looks good. So you're very small on my screen, but it looks. I've never seen the actual
size. Doesn't matter.
Shape of your head, but it looks pretty even. Looks like the bald look suits you. Everything's it looks good. It looks nice.
But you can see the hairline up here. You know what I mean?
I had to ask, what did your son say?
No, you two are the first to see this in right now.
Oh,
no,
shit.
Take that back. No, I FaceTimed Megan just before this call because I didn't want this to be the first time she saw it, so I did FaceTime her.
That is respectful.
Did you talk with her prior?
I had mentioned it to Robin and Megan. And I told them the reason, and they just kind of giggled and said, it's not that bad. But it just kept bothering the piss out of me. Like, it was so thin right here, and like when you look at, you could see my baldness like just under the hair because it was getting so thin, and yeah.
Just time to do it. Well, I know you've said that in the past. You're like, at the point where I feel like I'm just, but people say things, and I was like,
sure.
But yeah, you just fucking did it. Look at you go.
I did it.
Look at that.
About
what did Megan say?
She said it doesn't look bad, but she was taken back. Like, there was a lot of just kind of staring, and so I think.
So I'm going to need you to wear a hat during the lovemaking, just at first, because
Yeah.
Lights off.
No, it's just an adjustment period. I remember the first time my dad shaved his head. He did it, and he wanted to do it because at the time, like, it was right, like Stone Cold Steve Austin was a big deal, and he, had been dealing with that for a while. So he was just like, I'm just going to do it. And he didn't even say anything to my mom. He just came home from work. He went after work one day, shaved it, and my mom came home, and she was like, holy shit. At first, she hated it. She was like, I did not like it, but it grew on her. And then she's like, after a while, she's like, I can't even imagine it any other way now. But yeah, so very, very good.
I think the head's a decent shape,
Now, might I ask, what do you do with the beard? Is it you just cut it off where did you cut it off at the ear? Right at the top of the ear, where the head,
and I faded it right here.
Okay,
above the ear.
I always pay attention to that with bald guys with beards. I'm like, you have a decision to make there. Like, how do you play that?
You could trim it down and like fade it like down to here, but I don't like that. It kind of looks like just a goatee gone wild. So I want it up here to where it's an actual beard.
Okay.
Along with the beard above my lip.
I thought it the second you said it, because I was like, how can I tie this into him thinking that a mustache is no longer a mustache when it is accompanied by any other hair on your face?
It's a callback.
Yeah.
So, Brian, what have you been up to? How have you been?
Brian, what's newly smooth on your body, friend?
Yeah, please tell.
Not the top of my head. That's all I'll tell you. But, yeah.
Yeah, Brian has as the oldest member of this podcast, has far and away the best head of hair of any of us.
Well,
totally.
Very jealous. Very jealous.
I'm getting a little thin in the back a little bit. I still have enough coverage.
Let's show you're like 65, so I mean, like, that's pretty fucking good.
Yes.
No, actually, that was too. There was an above picture the other day that I saw, and it was thinning back here too. So it was going to meet in the middle somewhere up here. So,
but that's what I would do someday. I'm sure. Yeah, I would keep the beard, maybe grow the beard out a little bit more.
Yep.
And do it. Ever since I saw, honestly, that Jeff Bridges in Iron Man,
I thought the same thing.
That look that he had was like, wow, that is a good. The way where he had, I can't remember where his beard started. I have to go back and look at a photo, but that look was great. Of course, now he's just looks good, whatever.
Right.
But
sure,
but yeah. Yeah, someday might be in my future. Someday, I keep telling Allie, if I keep getting thin in the back, I'm just going to go with a faux hawk.
Yeah,
sure. Just
not a mohawk.
Yeah,
a faux hawk, and just shave it, close, but not bald.
Because a faux hawk, you could actually end it up here just before like the crown.
Yeah, exactly,
and get away with right here.
That's right. That's right. That was my logic there. Then Allie keeps telling do I look like a woman who's dating a guy with a faux hawks? Like, my answer is not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. You don't. You're gonna get there, baby girl. Don't you worry. No, see, like Dean, you remember when you shaved my head years ago? We were gonna start a mohawk because
I got pictures.
In the front, it's so thin that I was like, you know what? I wonder if I could just do a mohawk and take it back. The problem was that part at the beginning is so thin that once you followed the line straight back, it was like a little fucking caterpillar on the top of my head. It just didn't it didn't look right, because mohawks have a thickness to them typically, and it was too small.
You ever like a really hot day and you find like a thing of dirt and you see there's a little bush patch grass growing up out of it? You're like, well, that seems out of place. That's kind of what
that's what that was. Yeah, that's fair. That is what that was. Well,
it's trying. Weird. Oh, look at them. They're trying. Good for them.
That's cute.
So we want your rating and review of Dean's head.
Yeah.
So if you could comment on the show, email us,
which means
on the page.
If you're listening to us on podcast, you have to go to YouTube.
Yep.
This is a YouTube quality show.
Yeah. Now, Nick, our photos are now outdated.
That's true. I need a
The
new
photo-
bald Dean photo.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's now worth more money now.
Yeah,
Right,
it's
retro.
vintage. Yeah,
Vintage,
right.
yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay.
From the
Well,
early days of Convincing Idiots.
That's right.
Season 1 shit.
Season 1 shit. That's right.
That's right.
Yep, right before season 2 started. That's right.
Yeah.
You got to have a character change,
Sure.
change up the look.
Mhm.
Dean just turned evil. He Evil
right.
Dean is now
That's
here.
Now, maybe this version of Dean is more quiet
Was that look evil?
and more appropriate and
Waits his fucking turn to speak.
waits his fucking turn to speak. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. I guess we'll
Well, you
find
can't
out.
completely change the character.
Yeah.
You got to have some sort of, holding on to something of that character's personality.
Yeah.
This could be Nick, a multiverse Dean. We'll talk more about the
Oh,
multiverse
yeah.
in the
Ooh.
episode.
That's true.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, Dean has a new job, a new
Mhm.
look. Like, there's a lot of things
Mhm.
changing. I'm not even sure this is the Dean we started this podcast with.
And when Megan sees him firsthand, probably will need a new girlfriend, I'm sure. So, a lot of change. A lot
Yes,
of change in 2020.
absolutely. Yeah. I do think it looks good. It suits you. It looks very
Thank
nice. Yes.
Thank you.
So sorry, Brian. We totally just hijacked
That's
what you were. How are you?
no,
Anyway, back to Dean being bald.
That's okay. I am well. It was fun Friday night with you guys hanging out, dinner and a movie. That was great. Good quality friend time over the weekend. So it was good. So that was Friday. Yeah, just saw a lot of friends over the last couple of days. So that's good. Just getting together for a little holiday fellowship and so forth. Saturday was one of my oldest friends. No, my oldest friend that I've known since grade school, Cooper, that you guys know I used to do the football show with and stuff. So his daughter, him and Amy's daughter, turned her birthday's today. Was it today? Yesterday. Anyway, so they had a
Happy
birthday
birthday
surprise. Yeah, surprise birthday dinner for her Saturday. So a lot of group got together there. Sunday hung out with some guys, watched football, hung out. Also last night went out and watched the Browns with Cunningham. So
Oh, that was heartbreaking.
yeah. Tomorrow, this is December 21st. So tomorrow is my actual birthday, and I have some nice plans with.
He beat me too. That pointing was that I was gonna bring up.
Thank you. So tomorrow, Allie got tickets for the immersive Van Gogh exhibit, which I know you saw
are
previously.
going to
Dean.
love it. It is
Yeah, so-
awesome.
That'll be nice. So my daughter, her boyfriend, Allie, her daughter, and I are going up to Cleveland, check that out, and then just back to the house here for just take out food, relax, movie, visit. That's what I like. I don't want to go out to have some big dinner, all that crap. Just home.
Well, at your
talk.
age, you got to be in bed by 8.
Yeah,
And you're at high
Yeah.
risk. COVID's,
Yeah.
at a
that's
all
right.
time.
Well, that too, honestly, frankly.
Yeah.
But anyway, beyond that, that's what I prefer. Just quiet time.
How
family.
old will you be, Brian? Do you want to do it, or does a lady never just
Yeah,
tell
I
her
don't-
her age?
I don't mind. I'll be 53 years of age. So it's like you're in your 50s.
You are. You're in the thick
all
of it
up
there.
in it.
I
You're
had
balls deep
trouble-
in your 50s.
That's right, man. When I turned 50, I was like, I had moments of semi panic attacks a little bit here and there. It's not like full, just like, and you'll see someday, you'll get to those thoughts like, oh my God, I'm on the back nine of life. What's going on? Did I accomplish everything I wanted to You have to go kind of, for me anyways, I had to kind of ride through that. But now it's just like, listen, I'm here. I'm alive. I'm
Podcast is
fortunate.
doing great. So
That's
it's
right.
like, we're thriving.
Yeah, we're in
Like, what more
fucking,
could
yeah,
you
but
want?
Damn beard
We
looks
got-
amazing.
we got listeners in fucking Japan and Oman and all that stuff and Germany. It's hey, we're anyways. No, you look more for the positive certainly, but
Yeah.
yes.
Well, happy birthday to you, man.
Thank you.
We love
Thank
you
you.
very much, and we
love you guys too. Thank you.
very.
I love you.
Love you too. Thank you.
Well, you
And
would have meant
I-
it more if you said it when I said it, but whatever.
I said I love you guys too. I did.
Oh,
I'll say it again.
but-
I love you guys. Thank you.
I mean, he can tell you he
Yeah.
loves you, but did Millennial Santa gift you? Did he gift you
Mm-hmm.
a piece of himself
look at that, would you?
from Movember? This is Brian's
Oh, wow.
beard.
Look
Some
at
of his
that.
beard preserved in a jar. Again, you're gonna have to go to YouTube. This is definitely a YouTube episode.
And it
And
sits on your
I
shelf behind your fucking chair.
Sits
Yes.
on the
Yeah.
shelf next
Yeah.
to
Added
Obi-Wan,
power.
Superman,
Mhm.
and Houdini.
Wow.
Added power.
Rightfully.
Wow.
Yep.
Very
I'm
interesting.
gonna staple that to the top of my head later.
There you go. Just a little mohawk right there at the top.
Yeah, odds are it'd be if you consume some of it, your hair may go, but it would be the salt pepper of my beard though on top of your head.
No,
that would be the caveat. That would be the caveat.
I've been eating a little bit each night since I've got it, and nothing's happened.
Nothing's happening? Oh, that's too bad.
Well, indigestion and an erection, but other than that, nah.
That seems about right. Seems about right. Yep. So Nick, how are you, sir?
I'm doing well. Same as you guys. You know, obviously we were all together Friday. Saw the new Spider-Man
Your
movie,
bald
No
have a
Way
birthday?
Home. The birthday part's a little ways off yet. No.
What about the bald?
Yeah, we're pretty close. Pretty damn close. Mine's involuntary, yes, but we're pretty close. No, we went and saw the movie with you guys. It was a good time, and then just got a lot of Christmas shopping done this weekend. Got a lot of gift wrapping and things like that done. So it was a very productive weekend. But it's crunch time now, and just trying to get everything done as in these last final days here. So. But I'm probably a little more ahead of schedule than I usually am this time of year, so that's a positive.
That's good.
Me too, and luckily. Can't leave the house and such.
Nick, how
Stay
are you
positive.
Coping? How are you coping, Nick, with the paused NHL season? I saw that news.
Not well. It's only till after Christmas, as of right now.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So it's okay. I would rather see the players be as safe as possible.
Sure.
The problem is, where do you go from here?
What would you do if something happened to Austin Matthews?
Oh, he's already had it. He had it last year.
And it ran from him because it's Austin Matthews, and
that's right.
It ran from that motherfucker.
Yeah, that's a man right there. He's gonna body check you. He'll body check COVID. It doesn't stand a chance. No, you want everybody to be safe, but at the same time, it's a lot of the hockey podcasts and things that I listen to are kind of like, at what point? I mean, yes, you want everybody to be safe, but there is one single NHL player in the entire league, one that has not been vaccinated. The entire league has been vaccinated before the season ever began.
Did he give it to a lot of people?
I don't know. But as we all know, it doesn't mean you can't get COVID if you're vaccinated. So, these people are still, have a life. They're, hopefully being cautious, but what can you do? It's the same. I mean, all three of us have been vaccinated, and everybody, different sections of families and things like that are experiencing stuff. There's just no running from it. Doesn't mean you can't get it. I know people as recently as last week that have been double vaxxed and still got it. So it's, it is what it is. But at what point do you look at it and go, we're being as safe as possible? Obviously, if we know someone has it, they don't play. But, this is a reality that we're basically going to be living in for at least. Yeah. They're speculating 2024 maybe being the end of the pandemic part of it. It'll be like the cold and flu. They'll recommend you get vaccinated every year. People do, people don't. But to the point to where we get to some sense of true normalcy as we knew it, you're probably looking at, maybe a couple years yet. So, it's a difficult thing. I mean, I would hate a full pause on the NHL season. But, at utmost, above all else, it is a game, it is entertainment, it is the way these guys make money, absolutely. But you want people to be safe, but hopefully they can just navigate it the best they can. But right now I'm doing okay because they're just calling off.
There is no price on life
after Christmas. That's true. That is correct.
Unless you're a hitman.
That's true. There is, yeah. Boba Fett would disagree with the statement that you made. Yes.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about this a little bit last night at the Browns, watching the Browns. It was like, they moved the game from Saturday to Monday.
Right.
5 o'clock.
Quarterback.
Yeah, and the kid actually played pretty good.
He did.
He wasn't the cause of it. But anyway, it's just like sports in general. It's like, like you say, maybe it's next season because it's like everybody knows the risk. I don't know. It's just like you can't necessarily stop the spread. It'd be interesting to see what they do next season. Next season could be, listen, guys, you know the risk. You don't have to play. Now, if you don't play, maybe we don't penalize you. If you want to opt out for health reasons, sure, because maybe people at home or have health issues and so forth. So you bringing it into the home is a higher risk to kill somebody and this and that and the others. That would just
bring in a bunch of scrubs. Like they can bring in Johnny Utah. I heard he ain't doing anything.
Right. So, but we'll see what happens. It's interesting. It'll be interesting to see what they do next year. But like you say, go ahead.
But you guys were right there. look at that movie theater when we went to see Spider-Man.
Oh, it's packed.
It was packed.
And who's
You know,
wearing? I mean, I wore a mask
going.
walking in there, but
Mhm.
I took it off while I sat there and watched it. And when you think about it, it's like you're
It's
still
a-
in a big room with a ton of people all breathing the same air.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, speaking of Spider-Man a little bit, so
That was my segue into it. So.
Yeah. There you go. There you go.
So, was Spider-Man worth potentially dying for? Yes or no? If it was the last movie I ever saw, I'd probably be okay with it.
Well, I don't know about that, but
so this episode we're going to talk a lot about Spider-Man. So we're going to avoid the big spoilers that are definitely a surprise in the movie, right? There are some things though, like who is in the movie, which wasn't announced, but is fairly common knowledge as far as if you look up anything online, if you look up the movie on Rotten Tomatoes,
hold on,
IMDb,
like B. Arthur's definitely there. You know that because all signs point to that she is.
And I was not expecting that they were able to reanimate a Vigoda. Very happy about it.
Sure.
But very surprised. No, but seriously, real quick, if you're listening to this and you haven't seen Spider-Man, and if you want absolutely none, we're not going to give big stuff away, but we are going to talk about it a little bit. Like he said, we're going to talk about the. So if you haven't seen Spider-Man and you haven't gone on to like IMDb to see who's in the cast, spoiler now. Giving us Nick, I want you to give me a count of 10 in your BG voice, and then, ladies and gentlemen, then we're going to give light spoilers. So please, BG Nick.
So, convincing idiots gonna give you 10 seconds. Get away from this podcast. So not ruin Spider-Man for you. All right. So, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There you go. You're free and clear, Dean.
Nice.
Thank you, BG Nick.
Is it weird? Is it weird? I want Nick to give me a countdown during like an intimate moment, just off to the side somewhere. He doesn't have to be watching anything. Just I just.
And then
Nick,
at the end, he yells,
"Give me 10."
Watch out! He's gonna come.
Yeah. Something like that. Something like that.
Yeah.
That's a nice birthday gift.
Oh yeah.
You should be on Cameo.
Very personal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
BG Nick on Cameo.
BG Nick. It's just my mom paying for me to support me. Thanks, Mom.
Barry
Here's
Gibb
another cameo.
Barry Gibb for $800 or Nick as Barry Gibb for $8. It just depends on what your
kind
budget
of the
is.
Same thing.
Yeah.
You know?
That's a fucking deal. You ask me.
It's only $8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is Barry Gibb on Cameo?
I don't know.
I didn't know if that $800 price point was a real thing. Like,
it sounds about right.
Alive, or which one died?
Barry's the only one alive.
Barry's alive. Good. Robin passed it.
He's still making music.
Ago.
By the way, he's still making new music, Barry.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Bless his heart.
Okay,
anyway.
So we've given the spoiler alert. BG Nick has counted us down, so we are free and clear, gentlemen. Let's get into it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so just general thoughts. Who wants to start?
Well, I personally thought it was fantastic. There's a lot of times that a movie comes out and it's a big deal. It's a blockbuster, especially with the superhero movies, and sometimes it lives up to the hype. Sometimes it doesn't. I would even say, in my opinion, even with the hype, I guess storyline wise, without giving it away, it was on par with what I expected. It was basically, but the delivery of it, the heartwarming moments, the comedy throughout the movie, the emotional moments, the way things were tied together, it exceeded my expectations. So I would, if I'm giving it a interrupting Dean score, I'd probably have to give it 0. It was about a flawless victory.
Okay.
It was certainly one of the best. Personally, up until seeing this movie, my top 2 superhero movies, or at least in Marvel movies, have always been Black Panther and Into the Spider-Verse, and it's right up there with them. It's just this fantastic movie. I don't really have any negative critique of it. Really, I think anyone who goes and sees this movie will enjoy it. Whether you've seen every Spider-Man movie or not, I think it's equally as entertaining throughout. It's a long movie, but even, I mean, you say that about some of the Star Wars movies that came out, which those some at parts did feel long, but like the Avengers movies, Endgame and Infinity War, they were long movies. For the most part, they moved well, but not like this. This one far exceeded both of those, in my opinion. It was, I mean, it never once did I feel like, man, this movie's been going on a while. It was just, it moves so well. It keeps you, it keeps in your feels the whole time, and if not in your feels, it keeps you laughing. And there's just, I don't have a single negative critique. I really, really enjoyed it.
Okay,
Fantastic. Okay, it feels like I'm going to just reiterate a lot of what Nick said. It was long. It was over 2 hours, but it did not feel long. I think it flowed very nicely. A lot of these movies, you'll be like, well, the middle part, kind of drug. Even in the slower parts where they had to do some storytelling and explaining, they did it so well that you didn't notice. It was a great movie. Like, even take away the superhero part of it, it was just a damn fine movie. Like Nick said, it was heartwarming. I love the comedy. This is where the soft spoilers come in. I have never seen an Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, so I didn't honestly know what to expect. I am now going to go watch whatever Spider-Man movie he was in, because that dude,
Amazing
was
Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I may interject, and not to say that you won't enjoy them, but for example, those movies were my least favorite of all of any
That's
of them.
why. That's what I've heard. That's why I never watched
my
them.
least, and it's not that he was bad necessarily, but he was always my least favorite Spider-Man. I just always felt like
comedy in it.
No, not well. I mean, a little,
because
but
he
wasn't.
was funny in this.
Yeah, I think they played more off of the perception of his version of Spider-Man a little more, which made it. But like, for being my least favorite Spider-Man,
they're kind of tugging on the curtain.
He might have been my favorite character in this movie. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
He was very good.
Awesome.
Yeah, I always just felt like the character of Andrew Garfield seemed too cool to be Peter Parker to me. That was always my critique, and it wasn't. But the movies themselves, like the stories of the movies, weren't quite as good as the Tobey Maguire ones, and certainly not as good as these Tom Holland ones. These have all been fantastic. But sorry, continue with your review. Yeah.
No, by all means. If anybody's going to interrupting Dean, it should be you.
Yes.
All right. It was a great movie. I don't know for me, Endgame was like, just because it had that epic ending, it had, with every superhero. So that to me, that puts it on like a level, Avengers Assemble, that scene. That's hard to beat. And I love a good time travel movie. So that I still probably would put that a little above this movie.
Okay.
But this is top notch. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm getting to 0. Interrupting Dean's.
Yeah. Flawless victory.
Yeah. Once again, there's some stuff they could have done different. There's stuff they could have done better. It wasn't a perfect movie. It had something to be desired. And once again, in order. Spoilers, heavy spoilers, so I can't really get into why.
Right.
Some things I would have done different. But again, I don't make movies. I make podcasts people don't listen to. So what do I know? But other than that, yeah, I highly enjoyed it. Brian, what about you?
Yeah, it's definitely a great movie. I've been Spider-Man fan since I was a kid. So that time, that's obviously much longer than you guys, and in a lot of the dynamics of what you like about that character are really coming into light with this new. That's one reason for me personally. I like the Tobey Maguire ones because that was more like the true Peter Parker, young kid struggling with life, knows that he could just kick the shit out of all the kids at school and all that, but yet he's humble, he holds back and all that, and he just kind of struggles with life and yet he's still a hero. It kind of got away from that with the Andrew Garfield. That wasn't his fault in those Spider-Man movies. Certainly, the script for those just went completely off the rails with bringing in his parents again. All this, it was so wacky.
Yeah.
And then they're getting back to the roots of Spider-Man with this new series. Definitely, this movie took his friendship with Ned Leeds and his love for Mary Jane to whole new levels. And we won't get into spoilers and all this and that, but a lot of it does follow some of the comic storylines as far as, this is in the trailer, where, people knowing that he's Spider-Man is disrupting the lives of his loved ones, and that's what he's focused on, not himself. And that's where he wants Doctor Strange to create the spell to let them basically try to have a better chance at a successful life in college and everything else. So I don't know. So all that storyline was great. I love again, in the trailers, you can see what villains are in the movie. It's very clear. Obviously, Green Goblin's in it with Willem Dafoe. Jamie Foxx is Electro, and Alfred Molina as Doc Ock come back here. So they were all terrific. It was great to see them come back and reprise those roles.
Is there any villains we can't say? They were all you've probably seen them pretty much all in the...
Yeah, I think in the trailer...
Well, there were some small side ones that I didn't know was going to be there.
Okay, well, the one they did show in the trailer, because you just named the list of them, Brian, I do want to give a shout-out to Thomas Hayden Church.
Sandman you do see in the trailer.
Yes.
And it was not clear if he was actually going to be in the movie, and then it was very apparent as soon as he started talking that was him. So, yeah, he was terrific. And I liked how they kept him just as in the movie. He was just the sand figure the entire time. And it was some of the funny parts where he's walking in apartments and he's still sand and he's getting sand on people's couches and stuff. Yes, all that was great. And some other other appearances were pretty cool that we won't get into. But I
like that those characters were they delved into them a lot more. And I'm saying all of these not Tom Holland characters, good and bad, they delved into them a lot more than I thought they were going to, which I really appreciated. Like they really put story and thought into and gave each one of these people a little something. Even if it was a smaller character, they gave him a little something. I appreciated that.
Yeah, and you look at this movie here, where they've gone with this trilogy, and it's like, thank goodness that people had enough sense at Sony to say, listen, let Marvel do this. If they'd have kept going with again, those Andrew Garfield movies, it's not, like you said, it's not Andrew Garfield's fault whatsoever. No. He was actually a very, very good, I thought, Peter Parker, and he was actually a very good Spider-Man. That, to me, those are the best part of those movies, was Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man interacting with New Yorkers. That was Spider-Man. He's making jokes. He's bantering with the public, all that type of stuff. He was terrific. It just, they had no idea what they were doing with the script to get rid of that craziness and reset this back to where it's going now. And now they've certainly announced another trilogy that people are, certainly Tom Holland he's announced to be signed on, and they have to sign the other kids. There's no question about that. They'll bring everybody back. You have to continue with that core. And by the time they finish up this next trilogy, I think we're going to see, have a very, very interesting storyline with Spider-Man, and certainly continue to branch off into the Spider-Verse and everything. So,
right.
But anyway, thoroughly enjoyable movie. And to think back from when I was a kid watching the piece of shit, garbage Spider-Man television show, that live action television show in the 70s.
What do you mean garbage?
It was absolute garbage. It was they couldn't do much with it back then. It was the fact that they had a guy actually scale in a building with a cable or something. That was pretty cool. Yeah. Like, wow, there's Spider-Man crawling up a building. That was pretty neat. That was actually a dude crawling up a building, that they had to hoist.
They didn't just turn it sideways and just have him crawling like the Batman and Robin and that kind of thing.
They had a dude, he would crawl up a bit. So that was pretty cool. But the web and it was just low. Anyway, to think about what they've done from that, and even the advancements in technology and everything else from the Tobey Maguire movies originally, it's just really, really terrific to see. If you're a remote fan of Spider-Man character and or the prior movies, you will definitely enjoy this movie. I
Yeah.
would have liked to. It's so hard to critique too much because there's only so much you could
That's
do
what I'm
in
saying.
any one movie. You know, I would have liked to.
Or without spoiling. Well, actually, I got one.
Yeah, yeah.
I got one critique because they give so much fan service in the movie. What would have been great, because we've all seen that meme of the cartoon 3 Spider-Mans pointing at each other.
They did that.
At least they did that.
Yes.
Oh,
Go back
where?
and there was a scene in the. I was reading like Easter eggs on one of
Oh
the sites.
shit! I missed
okay?
that.
But there was a
Okay.
scene where they were in the lab.
Yeah.
At least it was this guy's what the article's interpretation. Okay.
Yeah.
Was it
okay.
were they really
Okay.
trying to do it? It's fine. But in the lab, they were sitting there saying, "You're Peter Parker 1. No, you're Peter Parker 2. No, you're
Right.
Peter
Oh,
Parker
yeah.
3." And they're doing this and that.
all
And
in
they're
their
pointing.
spider suits, doing
Yeah.
that point and stuff.
I don't know. Somebody said that was the homage to the meme. Was
Okay,
that scene?
Well,
Who knows?
I can appreciate that. If
Yeah,
that's,
I don't know.
good.
That was not necessarily from the Marvel people, but that was just
Right.
at least this guy's interpretation. I thought, okay. But
Yeah.
you're right. It would have been better if they're standing there and they had the exact same scene with
right.
Yeah.
them pointing like the suits, like you said. So I don't know. But yeah, it was very, very good. I'd like to see it again. There's definitely a lot of things that you'll pick up on with other
Sure.
viewings.
Yeah.
The different parts of the storyline a little bit different, but there were definitely characters that were able to have some closure in things that may have happened in other movies that didn't go their way. So, that was all very, very good. And just to see everybody come back, everybody looked terrific. Everybody could still wear the suits. It was, I don't know. It was just,
Did you
a lot
hear
of
the
fun.
guys behind us, Brian, talking about Tobey Maguire's dad bod?
Oh, yeah, I did.
it's like,
I was getting I mean, those guys weren't too loud. They weren't being dicks.
No.
I was actually kind of enjoying their commentary a little bit.
Yeah.
I liked seeing him. They didn't try to change it. It's like he wasn't a TD. He was an older Peter Parker. That's what he
Right,
was.
yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And it was fine. And that's
Yep.
completely fine.
I
It
like
worked.
that part.
Yeah.
And I want to give a shout out and a nod to Don't Get Enough Love. And I really, and again, not spoiling anything, so I don't want to give away what I'm talking about, but the performance of Marissa Tomei
Mm-hmm.
was amazing.
How does she still look like that?
I know, right?
I leaned over to Rob and I was like, how old is Marissa Tomei? And she's like, I don't know, 50 something. And I'm like, how does she still look like that?
She looks
It's
incredible.
insane.
Yeah.
She does. It's wild.
Yep.
But yeah, she is fantastic. I mean, looks aside, it was just she's that version of Aunt May has been fantastic. Like for
I agree.
her version of it. It's just a fresh take on it instead of the little old lady with the with the
Right.
it's just I like the fresh take on the character.
Marissa
And
Tomei she just had a birthday, December the 4th. She just
Okay.
turned.
Happy
Wait a minute.
birthday.
Wait a minute. Don't say it. Dean,
Oh, yeah,
do you
it's
think
a good
she's
game.
older or younger than Brian?
Ooh.
'Cause Brian just said he's turning 53. I
Okay.
think she is.
That's a fun game.
I think
Is
it's
it
real
older
close.
than Brian?
I want to say.
I'm saying
I'm going to say older a little
she's
bit.
older. I'm going to say older too. I'm going to say she's 55.
I'm going to say
Nick?
she's probably like 54, or 53 and just like days older than him. Or
Okay.
months, rather, or whatever.
You're both correct that she is older than me.
Okay.
Okay.
She just turned 57 years of
What
age.
the fuck? She's
Yeah.
almost 60?
Yeah.
Yeah, looks terrific. Yep.
Add her to the list of nearly 60-year-olds that I would bang.
Right.
Add her to
Right.
the list.
Yep.
She's
Wow.
probably just below Brian at this point on that list.
Yeah. That's right. That's
I'm
right.
just
Yeah.
on my
Yeah.
list.
I think that
Yeah.
as a compliment. Yeah, absolutely.
I actually have a lock of Marissa Tomei's hair in a jar on my shelf behind me.
Not from her head. So what I appreciated, how cool! I mean the introduction to the villains, and we've seen it on the trailer, with on the bridge and the cars getting flipped. I love the. I don't know what we can spoil or not spoil, but the saving of the one car.
Yep.
That scene was awesome with
Yeah.
the Doc Ock arm
Yep.
and stuff.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I mean,
It brought me
and
back to the multitasking that you do, or the different types of. I don't know if either of you have played the PlayStation 4 Amazing Spider-Man video game. It kind of reminded me of something that would
I've
happen
not.
in that game or whatever. But yeah, it's pretty cool.
Okay. Yeah,
Yep, great
I mean,
stuff. Go ahead.
it's done so well because like you're assuming, this family is gonna, that they're gonna get away. Spider-Man is concerned, but like they did it so well. Like you were a little nervous. Like
Yeah.
so I'm like, wow, I've been nervous like watching a scene like that. So it was very well done. And all of them just blowing up and flipping. You're like, Jesus, I hope they have insurance on those cars.
Yeah.
And if they do, I really hope they have Blake insurance.
All right.
Blake Insurance is an Erie insurance agency located in Barberton, Ohio. They provide auto, home, renters, business, and life insurance with honesty, decency, and affordability. Erie Insurance above all else in service. You want to call 234-571-5359 or visit blakellc.com for your free 5-minute quote today. And when you do, tell Aaron that Convincing Idiot sent you.
Dean's making a run at it tonight, Nick.
Man, he sure is. He's going hard.
Best segue in this episode. Yep.
Thank you, boys.
Okay. All right. Well, speaking of segues here, this is actually a good time to take a little break. So we all also love the movie. Highly recommend. Yeah, go ahead.
Empty glass, so we need a break.
There you go.
Everyone needed to hear Dean swallow obnoxiously into the microphone before we took a break.
You know you love listening to me swallow.
All right, so we'll take a break, and then we're going to come back and talk more about the movie and some of the performances and how they stack up against prior movie performances, et cetera, et cetera. And this episode's a lot about Spider-Man No Way Home. So,
and I have an atonement or a rebuttal or whatever you want to call it about something I've said about a previous movie in the past. Stay tuned. Come on back.
Okay. Be right back. Our Peter Tingles are telling us we'll be back soon.
Peter T. And we are back here on Convincing Idiots for round 2, web slinging into your ear holes to bring you this special podcast about Spider-Man No Way Home recently came out. We spent much of the first segment talking about what we thought of the movie without attempting at least to not give too much away.
And my bald head.
And Dean's bald head. Dean is now bald, if you missed that in the first part.
Go to YouTube. Check us out.
That's right. So, we talked a little bit about some of the villains that were in Spider-Man No Way Home. You had Doc Ock coming back. The Green Goblin, Electro. Who do you think was who was your favorite villain in this movie, or your favorite villain portrayal, and also how does it stack up against maybe other Spider-Man villains, maybe other just Marvel or any superhero movie villains roles?
Brian, you want to go first on this one?
Sure, that's fine. So in this particular movie, by far, Willem Dafoe stole the show. I mean, that the fact that you talk about how good, how young Marissa Tomei, Willem Dafoe looked the exact same. Now he's 66 years of age, and
I think they did de-aging on those two though.
They did.
I'm not 100%. I know they did it on Doc Ock.
Okay.
But
I thought that. I'm
the
like, that guy has an
de-aging a little bit.
Yeah, 100% that they did it on him. But I
Okay.
thought I heard they used the de-aging on Willem Dafoe as well.
Oh, well, okay. But he's been on talk shows and stuff with Jamie
Right.
Foxx.
It doesn't stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right, Brian. I mean, he still looks amazing. But I'm just saying, if you're talking about just in this movie, I believe that there's a little shenanigans going on.
Okay, fair enough. But one of the dynamics he said he wanted to do some of his own stunts to come back.
Yeah, good for him.
And that was terrific. But just he
I
was
have to call a stuntman when I have sex. So, and I'm only 40, so good for him.
Yeah.
My hip. I can't. I just
think it's going to be like bringing the guy with the hair,
Right.
bring the guy there.
Scene.
And then I cry when I see Brian walk in the room. I'm like, fine, whatever.
Yep.
She's happy, so what are we gonna do?
It works. It works for now.
For
now.
Yeah, for now.
Well, he was terrific in the first Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movie as Green Goblin, and just the thing about the Joker character is a terrific character. That character is always, as we know, insane. He's just an insane character all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing about the Green Goblin is he has that split personality. So there's points of the movie where Norman Osborn is normal, and then just something will set him off, and he's so obviously he's very terrified of his alter ego, and Willem Dafoe played that so well in the original movie, and that carries over into this movie to where the Green Goblin terrifies him, but when he becomes the Green Goblin, just super good. He's definitely Marvel's answer to the Joker. Plays the character really flawlessly, in my opinion. So he was great. He definitely had more of a pronounced role in this movie compared to the other villains. And we'll get into the details and stuff like that, but you'll see. But he was great. I always love seeing Alfred Molina's Doc Ock. That of the original trilogy,
That dude's good in anything he does.
He is. The original trilogy, the second one with Doc Ock was, in my opinion, by far the best movie of the three because of him and the storyline. They were really getting another groove. But his character made that movie, and he also had that. He was a nice man. He had that turning,
Well, that was like the slide into madness.
It was with the arms, talking to him all the time and everything. But so he was very good. So he was great to see too. Jamie Foxx was good as Electro. He doesn't have tons to work with, but he did a lot better than I thought he was. Better. Yeah, I agree with you. The second movie, that Electro was, I don't know. Again, not his fault.
Yeah, I thought he was the best part of. I mean, that one at least. I'm like, well, I think I enjoyed that one a little more, and it was probably because of Jamie Foxx and that character. He's a great actor, and he was up there for me. I mean, obviously, like you said, Brian, Willem Dafoe in this movie was fantastic. But yeah, I would give Jamie Foxx a nod for being very captivating in this movie as well.
Yeah. So. Actually, maybe we'll talk about a little bit there. Maybe before we wrap up this particular segment, maybe we'll do our Convincing Idiots Mount Rushmore of all-time greatest comic book movie villain portrayals. Let's talk about that before we wrap that up here. But so in this movie, by far, Willem Dafoe, where it stacks up all time, it's up there for me. It really is. I mean,
Willem Dafoe's portrayal.
He is. I've always loved the Green Goblin character as a kid because he was always just creepy and. The costume was always really cool, and the glider was awesome, and the pumpkin bombs and all that type of stuff. It was just a cool character, and the fact that he was crazy, and again, like I said, he was like the Marvel Joker, if you will. All that was terrific. To me, it's the Heath Ledger Joker is still my personal favorite, but Willem Dafoe probably he's definitely. When we get into the Mount Rushmore conversation, he definitely will be on my personal Mount Rushmore of all time, without a doubt. Yeah. Without a doubt. So, Dean, what'd you think of this movie? And then a little bit about all time, and then we'll get into the other.
Okay, this movie, I would say, obviously, Willem Dafoe. It was a very Joker-esque. But I also think that it helps his craziness portrayal also really helps with his sane portrayal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have that the you can look at the back and forth.
Yeah.
So you can see the difference between good and evil in his own performance.
Sure.
So I think so it raises that evilness and that craziness up, just a tick. So I think, yeah, Willem Dafoe. And to speak of all three, the three that they've shown in the trailer, name one of them that has bad movies. Like they're all just fucking tastic actors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From
you're right.
Jamie Foxx to
Sure.
Thomas Hayden Church. All
Sure.
of them. Off the chart.
Yeah.
And then as far as my my voice is cracking. Sorry, guys. My new job, I literally talk for 8 hours, so
Oh Jesus.
it's a little my voice gets a little cracked here. So and as far as my favorite movie villain of all time, I mean, yes, it's easy to go Heath Ledger. He was brilliant and amazing, but there's just a special place in my heart for the original Lex Luthor.
Gene Hackman.
Yeah, I just
solid.
He was sleazy. He was, and again, Gene Hackman, one of those actors that is hard pressed to find in a bad movie.
Sure.
But I would like to go on and give a shout out. He's not going to make the list. He's not going to make the Mount Rushmore list, but he could have if it was better written and he was given more. What's his face? Who played Lex Luthor in the newest Superman? What's the kid's name?
Jesse Eisenberg.
Eisenberg.
Yeah.
What little he did with what they gave him and the dialogue they gave him, like that could have been a badass Lex Luthor given the time and a better script.
I liked what he did with it. I liked what he did with it. I know a lot of people did not, but I liked.
I thought it was brilliant. I thought it could have. The potential was there.
Yeah.
Yeah, the crazy genius type thing. Yeah, he was good.
When he was going like the little bit of crazy and the way he thought, like I love that performance. So once again, they didn't give him enough, and the writing was shit. Again, Martha, it hurts everything. So, but the potential was there. It could have been his performance could have been amazing. So that's all I'm going to say about that until we get to the Mount Rushmore.
Okay, Nick.
Yeah, I have to agree with what you guys have said. Willem Dafoe's version of the Green Goblin is certainly up there for me. I don't know if it's my favorite of all time. I definitely have some ideas for Mount Rushmore. If we were talking about a Mount Rushmore, though, of villains, certainly, Willem Dafoe's close to it. Electro, I think, was really good. Although I think what makes Electro so great is just his capabilities as a superhero, because electricity in general is fantastic, very useful. You can even use it to get around. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but if you ask if you were to ask our friends at RPM Bike Shop out of Carrollton, Ohio, they would tell you you can get around quite easily on electricity with one of their electric bikes. So if you go and even you can even use the power and the magic of electricity to get on your computer machine and get on Facebook and search for RPM Bike Shop. They are located in Carrollton, Ohio. You can see their fantastic electric bikes. You can also give them a call at 330-808-7792, and they will tell you what kind of things that they offer for you. So maybe you don't get to have the powers of Electro, but you can feel like you can with an electric bike from RPM Bike Shop.
Oof.
Well done.
Yeah, that was strong.
Yeah, thanks.
That's strong. That's good. That's good.
Yeah, but definitely. Well, and I did enjoy Jamie Foxx. I always do. Especially looking forward to him playing Al Simmons in the upcoming Spawn movie. Very looking forward to that.
There was one clip, and if you watch them, I caught it a couple times here, and I don't know that I'm sure it'll be one of these like new Rockstar videos or something like that. But the original Electro costume looked a little ridiculous.
Yes.
But
Yeah, he had like the lightning
mask,
bolts. Yep.
with the lightning bolt mask. There were two clips I caught with Jamie Foxx when he was floating up in the air and electric formed of air.
Yep.
And guarantee they did it on purpose. Of
Oh,
course.
yeah.
Sure.
But he
Absolutely.
had electric brushed across his face like in one frame, and it was that same mask looking electric mask.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was pretty cool.
It was the same as when you first see. I'm not going to give away when and where, but when you first meet Willem Dafoe in this movie, he's wearing the purple hoodie with the green coat over it, like the comic book. That was the same comic book color scheme as the Goblin. So
That's right.
Yeah, but I mean, great portrayals all around. I once again, though, I do agree with Brian it's hard for anyone to top Heath Ledger Joker. I will not include this in my Mount Rushmore as a villain because the movie that he portrayed this character, he was not necessarily a villain, I wouldn't say as of yet, but I really enjoyed the Joaquin Phoenix Joker as well. A different style a little bit, but that same kind of unsettling madness that you need from the Joker, that kind of same way. And Willem Dafoe gave you flashes of that in this movie as well.
Which
kind
Joker?
of just creepy. Joaquin Phoenix.
Just the Joker movie.
The Joker. But he didn't really play. I wouldn't consider that as a Mount Rushmore of villain portrayal.
Because he's not a villain.
He's not a villain to anybody. He's basically just getting fucking picked on the entire time. Right. I mean, it's the same as like, I mean, I love the character of Venom, but I wouldn't classify Tom Hardy Venom portrayal in that conversation because he really is the hero of the movie. He's not a Venom, or not.
Good call.
He is a Venom, but he's not a villain. So I won't include things like that, but I would say as in the form, in my opinion, in the form of portraying a villain, like the Heath Ledger Joker is just that maddening, that just completely unstable anarchist that he portrayed, and I mean it was just I don't know, something that I think people, we've seen different takes on villains over the years, and a lot of times, for a while superhero movies were still finding their footing, I think they shied away from darker sides of things because, these are superheroes and maybe they're trying to appeal to adults and children and you're trying to toe a line. But that Joker just went full on, like, I mean, this is a bad guy. Like, this is just a villain in its purest form. So for me, he's probably still the top.
Joaquin Phoenix portrayal at his best.
What's that?
Joaquin Phoenix at his best.
The Joker.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was fantastic. Yeah. But yeah, I mean the Heath Ledger Joker, I would as villain. But yes, I mean because after the Heath Ledger Joker, and it's widely renowned. Everybody loves that version of it and stuff like that. But I enjoyed the Joker standalone film a lot more than I thought I would. Just because I thought, how the hell can you even possibly top Heath Ledger? But I don't think it was necessarily even needing or trying to top it. It was just a different spin on this character's story.
Right.
So, but yeah, I mean, that one's definitely up there for me.
Well, let's get into it. So, why don't we get into our convincing idiots Mount Rushmore? So it's top 5.
I can go if you
want.
An extra
one up there. Go ahead.
What I did was I wrote mine down while you guys were going.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. In no particular order, I'm going to go with Tom Hiddleston as Loki.
Okay.
I love the smarminess, the douchebaggery, but in that, and this is also going to piggyback on the next guy. What I'm about to say, every great villain thinks they're doing the right thing. They don't know they're a villain. They think they're doing the right thing in their eyes, in their point of view.
Yeah.
And Loki, was able, like a good wrestling bad guy, or you could flip him to a good guy and everybody loves him. And that's what they did with the TV show Loki. Flip him to a good guy, amazing in it. And when I said the best bad guys think they're doing the good thing, this is going to double into what I teased before the break. I'm going to go with Zemo from Civil War.
Zemo.
Zemo from Civil War.
Zemo.
Because
also
I
in Black
actually
Panther, right?
Black Panther and the new
Civil War, yeah.
The Falcon and Winter Soldier
That's right.
show.
Hmm.
He had that flip too in this one, like in the TV series. He's not exactly the worst guy, but also he thinks he's doing the right thing. If you know, and he explains it in the Falcon and Winter Soldier, his motives through everything. Actor's great, and also like I said, I teased. I just watched Civil War again this because Carter chose to. That was the movie we watched the other night. I have ragged that movie since we started this podcast. I take it back.
Really?
On the rewatch, it's a damn good movie. I don't know maybe I was in the wrong mindset when I watched it. Maybe I was. I don't know.
Well, that was with
it was a damn fine.
The hair version of Dean.
The hair was getting
right.
in your way. You couldn't think clearly.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's hard to think with all that hair in my eyes.
Yeah.
But no, I enjoyed it. I had a good time watching it. Okay, and I don't have to go much on the Willem Dafoe or Heath Ledger. We've all said what we said about them already. And I've already portrayed my love for Gina Hackman as my last one. So
Okay.
Cool.
Hmm.
All right.
Nick, what do you got?
I've got, these are all for very different reasons. Once again, in no particular order. I will knock out the first two, obviously. We've already discussed Heath Ledger's Joker, Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin. I think they both belong up there. One of the things that, we've touched on a little bit, but with the Green Goblin, the character is, the fact that split personality, that he starts out as a friend to Peter Parker and, is someone that, he can trust and things like that. And then as that relationship erodes and he kind of becomes this whole other person. So I think that's kind of intriguing. As far as movie portrayals, some recent ones, a big one for me that I really enjoyed was Eric Killmonger from Black Panther, because as far as villains go, he was one that you could really see his point of view. Like Dean had said, every villain is a hero in his own story, but truthfully, as you learn this kid's story, you'd go, you probably would turn pretty extremist and pretty bitter like Eric Killmonger did. So as a villain goes, and I almost hesitated to put him on there because I don't necessarily even think of him as a villain per se. But
sure,
he is the antagonist to the story. So I would put him up there, but definitely very relatable. Like, you definitely can see his side of things.
Michael B. Jordan, terrific in that role.
Yeah,
Sorry.
absolutely. Yep. Yeah. Also, really enjoyed. I've always really, and for the same reasons that we just talked about the Green Goblin, I've always loved the character of Two-Face from Batman. And I was gonna say, as much as I was a kid when Batman Forever came out, and Tommy Lee Jones is a fantastic actor, but that was very comic booky, and you don't really get too much of the backstory on that.
It was a little too much.
But the one, Aaron, what's his name? What's the guy that played him in Dark Knight Rises? He's in the Dark Knight Rises with. Aaron Eckhart.
Aaron Eckhart.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. So he did a really great job. You don't get to see him in the role of Two-Face a whole lot throughout the movie.
That would have been so good. It
was. You do see him in that way, but he's another one. You watch the way it happens. He was honestly a good guy trying to do right, and just gets caught up in the politics and everything.
But he was only Two-Face for like 3 minutes.
Right. Well, I remember watching that movie, and that was another one, very long movie. And I remember seeing that in the theater. And when they first started with, you see the writing on the wall. His name's Harvey Dent,
sure.
And so as this is all happening, I'm thinking, oh, they're setting up for the next movie for Two-Face to be the villain.
You were hoping?
No, they just put that in the end. Like, there's a little segment with Two-Face, and then that's the whole thing. I would have liked to see more of that. Interpretation of the character, because I enjoyed what I did get to see of it, but the combination of what I did see of it, and the actor in that character, and just the enjoyment of the character, I had to put him on my personal Mount Rushmore. And then last but certainly not least, as I'm watching these movies, every time I'm watching these movies and I'm hearing the voice and I'm listening to the things he's saying, and just from a full-on villain standpoint, it is hard for a lot of characters to top Thanos for me. Thanos is just that that insurmountable villain. That just there's just no. He's inevitable. He's just unstoppable. He's so powerful. He's so. And
Now,
no prisoners, takes no prisoners, no holds barred, doesn't pull any punches. I mean, he just is a full-on militant, does what needs to be done, and what he believes needs to be done. Yes.
On your villain or on your Thanos choice,
yes,
is it the character and the way it's written, or are you giving Josh Brolin some love? Given, yes, it was CGI, but it was Josh Brolin acting the shit out.
Oh, Josh Brolin definitely did a great job. I mean, I still remember. I loved. Was it Infinity War that kicks off that way, where he's in the ship with Thor and Loki, and he kind of gives that. Was it Infinity War that starts out that way? And he gives that speech of like, I know how hard it is to believe so much that you're right, and to still lose in the end, and all this stuff. Just that whole. There's just something very powerful about that character for me, and I love Thanos. So I've got to put Thanos online for sure.
Yeah.
Brian, who you got?
Man, it's a tough category. So yeah, I'm definitely sticking with Heath Ledger.
Sure.
I'm definitely keeping Willem Dafoe.
Sure.
And then a lot of it gets into more debate because there's so many good characters. I agree with you. Josh Brolin was terrific as Thanos. I like you guys both said it when. The best villains are when you could see their point of view, like what you guys said. So another one that kind of fits that criteria, but it does fit that criteria is Magneto in the X-Men movies, to where you could definitely understand his point of view. Listen, humans fear us because we're different, and they're never going to let us live in peace. We're going to have to go to war with the humans if we want to live peacefully as mutants and all that. So you could definitely, and he every time you think. And he's right every damn time in those movies. To a point where he actually is trying to live in peace and raise a family, and this is a very tragic scene of his family getting killed, and he has to come back in. It's just so tragic. So the character is great. Michael Fassbender played him terrifically, and for that matter, Ian McKellen played the character very good as well. I don't know if Michael Fassbender quite gets up on the mount for me, but he's very, very good. That first X-Men reboot movie was so good in that scene. Well, honestly, that movie, Kevin Bacon was terrific in that movie as well as the villain. Frankly, he was a terrific villain in that movie. But that scene when he took that coin and just pushed it through Kevin Bacon's head was one of my favorite scenes of any comic book movie. That was pretty terrific. But
good call.
And then growing up too. I mean, certainly Gene Hackman was great, Dean, in the original Superman movie. I remember sitting in the theater and watching that movie, and it's just like, wow, larger than life, and he was great in that. And sort of in the same vein was, those movies kind of fell off after Superman, right? And it was like, what are they going to do with these movies? Are we going to see anything like this again? And then here comes, Batman '89, and Jack Nicholson's portrayal of the Joker was definitely a combination. He had like all sides of that character. He had part Cesar Romero from the Batman Joker craziness, comic booky. He had the dark Joker, the murderous side, certainly,
because he was a thug.
He was, and he just had over the top comic booky laughter, but he made you uneasy when he was around. That scene with Michael Keaton in the apartment, Kim Basinger's apartment, it was like you knew something.
Nuts. Let's get nuts.
Yeah, you knew something bad was going to happen then. So his portrayal of that character, coupled with Michael Keaton, really was a catalyst to a lot more superhero movies. And if you think if that movie would have faltered back then, who knows what might have happened?
Right.
Who knows? But anyway, so
I tell you, that did something a little special to me in the watching Batman '89 Batman, when he had painted his face flesh tone, and then she threw the
Yes.
water in his face and he's screaming, and when
Yeah.
he drops down and it's like
It's
running
frightening.
through.
Oh yeah.
When I was
Yeah.
a kid, I mean,
It's creepy.
I
Scary.
wasn't like, oh my god, scared, but was like it pulls you back for a second. I mean, it's fantastic.
Yeah, he was scary. And another good one here that I think maybe people forget about was Liam Neeson in the Batman Begins as Ra's al Ghul. Terrific. It's just his calm demeanor, and of course
Only if he had a good superhero to go against.
But he was great in that movie, and to go from just how he fooled him. I don't need to rehash it. You know the story.
Yeah.
You watch the movie, but he was a terrific villain, and then his cameo in the Dark Knight Rises I thought was very, very good in the cell when he's come to him as a vision or something like that. So, a very strong candidate for me as well. So, boy, it's a tough one. So, all right, I'm going to go with Heath and William Dafoe. And honestly, I keep going back to Alfred Molina as Doc Ock in that second Spider-Man movie. I always loved that character in the comics. He was always one of Spider-Man's greatest foes. And Alfred Molina brought that character to life in the perfect way in Amazing Spider-Man 2. I thoroughly, thoroughly enjoyed that movie. You know what? So for me, I want to make an argument for Alfred Molina as Doc Ock. I'll give you Thanos with Josh Brolin. Terrific. Again, great acting. He is Thanos, 100%. What is that, 4?
Yeah.
And I'm going with Jack Nicholson. Jack Nicholson as the Joker, bringing that franchise to life, and there you go. So that's what I got.
I think all three of us had some solid Mount
Absolutely.
Rushmores on this one.
Yeah.
All right, I've got a question for you that I come up with as we were talking, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Would you guys be open? Excuse me, Jesus. Would you guys be open to for them to do a new Amazing Spider-Man or Spider-Man with either of the two, or even both? Doing one more movie with Tobey Maguire, one more movie with
Andrew Garfield.
Mm-hmm. Just to see what they came back to. You
mean standalone movies? Yeah,
separate from the MCU, just Sony. But now he has to have the knowledge of what he just went through.
Yeah.
Yes, he doesn't know who that Peter Parker is, but he now has a Willem Dafoe that he has to be friends with because he's not evil anymore and alive.
Yeah,
because Tobey Maguire comes back again, spoiler alert, when Tobey Maguire comes into this universe, he's older. So Willem Dafoe had died years ago.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So now he has to come back to an older, nice old man Willem Dafoe. I'm saying there's those one standalone movie from each just to show what they came back to. I think would work.
Yeah, I saw a rumor already today that they're already talking about a standalone Electro movie with Jamie Foxx. So I don't know. I don't know if that's true, but it's definitely a rumor out there. I don't know if I'm that interested personally in just a villain only.
I don't
movie.
need to see an Electro movie. I mean, I like his version of Electro, and I like that him as the character. But I don't. Yeah, I don't need to see a movie all about Electro. I think we get the point. It's.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, it'd be interesting to see what they came back to, and to make a movie out of that might be pretty cool.
So.
Yeah. So what about on that subject, sort of? All right. So this movie, obviously, now you're getting into the multiverse. A lot of things could happen. A lot of other characters can come out in their own movies or in the Spider-Man universe here. So, any particular beyond what you just said there, are there any particular storylines or characters that you would like to see that you're most interested in the Spider-Verse?
I just said, I think what my answer was with my question.
Beyond what you just said. Sorry, beyond what you said. Go ahead.
Okay.
Anything else?
Anything like in the MCU, not just not throwing it over Sony. I think that and we're sticking to Spider-Man.
Yeah, because of this movie, you're getting into the Spider-Man multiverse. So this is more of a Spider-Man-ish. Yeah,
I'm not that. I'm not the biggest comic book guy, so I don't know like obscure bad guys.
Okay.
But what would be fun, because Willem Dafoe made it a point to say, "Oh, there is no Oscorp. I went there and somebody was in my house. There is no Oscorp." Maybe in this universe, he didn't come into power until now. So now you have a Spider-Man who knows what he's going to become.
Yeah.
So now he has to he can't give away everything that had happened because it would fuck something up or whatever, however you want to put it. But he has to deal with the Norman Osborn coming to power now.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
And,
Nick, do you have
obviously
any...
you'd have to use a different actor.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see at least making appearances as they branch out into this. Some of the characters that I enjoy from the other ones, like we've already got into the Spider-Verse movies and into the Spider-Verse or across the Spider-Verse Part 1,
Right.
which is the sequel to Into the Spider-Verse. The animated film will be coming out in October of 2022, and certainly loved the first one, so looking very forward to that. But it would be interesting to see a live-action portrayal of a Miles Morales or Gwen or something like that in the live-action sense. Or here's an idea: how about a live-action film with kind of a Howard the Duck feel of John Mulaney doing a live-action Spider-Ham? I would like a Spider-Ham movie.
That is interesting.
A live-action one. That's weird.
I want to see Howard the Duck too.
I want to see weird.
I was a huge fan of that movie when I was a kid.
Yeah.
First movie that gave me bestiality, where I was like, "Ooh, why is that moving down there?"
That explains a lot.
It sure does.
Yeah. Anybody that truly liked that movie needs to be on the FBI watch list.
Come on, man, that was good.
I've never seen it. My stepmother tells me that she loved it and that I should watch it because it's funny. That's all I know.
No,
it's not. You're not. No. Don't look at the MCU. Don't look at. It's not a comic book movie. Hell, I didn't know he was part of the Marvel universe until all these Marvel movies started happening. Then they're like, "Oh, did you know that Howard Duck that was a Marvel?" I'm like, "Fuck, I didn't know."
Yeah,
it's just a fun movie. It's got a talking duck and it. What's her name?
Tia Leone. No. Yeah, from Back to the Future.
Yeah, the mom.
Yeah.
Leah Thompson. Leah Thompson. So Leah Thompson fucks a duck, and it's a good time. It's fun.
Yeah. Well, fun is a loose
subjective.
Subjective. Okay. I could dig that Spider-Ham. Spider-Ham came out. I want to say it was in the 80s. It was in the 80s or 90s. I think it might have been the 90s, and that came out. So I saw the comic book cover in the store somewhere. I picked it up. I just thought it was strange, and you know what? It was fun. And now they brought him back around.
Yeah.
And you need Homer Simpson singing the theme song.
Spider-Pig.
Spider-Ham. Yeah, Spider-Pig.
Does whatever a Spider-Ham does.
Yeah. You need Homer Simpson singing it.
That'd be great. Whatever Spider-Pig does.
Yeah.
That'd be great. Yeah, all that would be great. I agree with you. Without a doubt, Miles Morales will sooner or later make an appearance. They've already been hinting around it.
He was
mentioned in the movie a little bit.
Yes, he was mentioned in one of the movies.
Next thing you're going to see is a black Spider, or there's got to be a black Spider-Man in a universe. Somebody said
right.
So.
Yeah.
Well, what's his name? He's the actor, comedian. He has a rap. He was like a huge rap star.
Glover plays Landau.
Donald.
Yes.
He plays his uncle.
Gambino, yeah.
He plays his uncle in the MCU because he was on the phone. He said, "Hey, Miles, you're not going to believe that I just saw a guy in a spider costume or some shit like that."
Yeah.
They make reference to it.
Yeah, and he becomes the Prowler, his uncle in the comic. That'd be cool to see as well. But that would be cool. And then in the comics as well, they had a storyline of Mary Jane and Peter's daughter became a Spider Girl in another alternate universe. So
Sure.
that could be interesting to see maybe Tobey Maguire as the older Peter Parker, and maybe his daughter becomes Spider-Man maybe in that universe. It'd be kind of cool. Then you have sort of the mentor, older Peter Parker with his daughter, with an older version of Mary Jane. That would be kind of sweet.
That'd be cool.
You know, and then the Gwen Spider-Girl, you mentioned that already. That'd be kind of cool. And you could also now bring back the original actress who got killed, maybe as Gwen, with Andrew Garfield.
Oh,
That'd be kind of cool as well. So we'll put a meme of that out there. That was pretty cool to make. You know, Marvel make this happen. That I tweeted out on our Twitter feed, by the way. So yeah, that'd be all good stuff. All good stuff, certainly. So yeah, you do a lot with this going forward. So
it'd be good.
Okay. Yep. Well, what really can't go forward, though, much longer, is this particular episode, I'm afraid, gentlemen. Yeah.
Look around, guys. We come to the end. There's nothing else left to say.
It's true.
That's right. That's right. We've talked a lot about the Spider-Verse. We've observed the first appearance on video of Dean's shaved head.
Mm-hmm.
And this is not even a paid episode. We should make sure that that's clear as well. Normally, something like that would be on a Patreon account.
That's true.
Like that.
Yeah, this is free because we love you.
It is Christmas time and all that. So
Merry Christmas.
Yeah. So why don't we say? Well, yeah. Why don't we? That's a nice way to write. You guys want to? Any final Christmas wishes? This will air before Christmas.
Yes, that's true. Well,
any thoughts out there to anybody you want to wish happy holidays to or anything like that?
I would like to wish our listeners a very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, whatever you are celebrating. We appreciate you listening to us for another year. We are at the end of our, well, it's not second full year of doing this, but this is our second end of year address.
Yes.
To Idiot Nation, as we will call them. So we appreciate everybody listening and subscribing. And it's, once again, been fun to spend this year doing this with you guys. Hope you guys have a Merry Christmas and a Happy Holidays. I'm looking very forward to spending some time off work with my family and stuff. And looking very, very forward to the boys with Christmas. Obviously, my kids are young, 10 and 6 right now. So these are the times when it's a lot of fun. So looking very forward to just Christmas in general. Makes it a lot of fun. And look forward to embarking on a whole new year with 2 of my besties.
Absolutely. And us as well. That's nice.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, very good. Dean?
Okay. I'll make it short and sweet since Nick just rambles. So I
take back. I don't got 2 besties. I got 1 bestie. 1. Got a full ass head of hair too. 1 bestie.
That's right. Beautiful at that. Nope. First and foremost, I would like to thank the listeners and viewers. Still at this point, there's not a bunch of you, but everyone that does, we are appreciative that you take time out of your life that we to throw us in your ears or on your eyes. So thank you for that. And I want to thank you too. I'd heard the other day somebody say that when you're talking to your friends, nobody has long conversations anymore, and that's true. There's a lot of small chit chat. This gives us, we've been friends for years, and this gives us a chance that we might not do, especially on a regular basis.
Yeah.
To come together and bullshit and laugh once a week and then put it out and hope somebody fucking likes it. I appreciate the hell out of you too. This is one of the best parts of my week. And the only last thing I have to say is fucking happy birthday, Brian.
Thank you.
Right. Happy birthday.
Thank you very much.
Brian Fisher.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I share the same sentiments as you guys, and we've mentioned before. We'll say it again, but yeah, how we've continued to keep this up. Like I said, if 10 people listen or 2 or whatever, and like you said, anybody that does, we appreciate you. Thank you. I'm sure some of you out there listen on a regular basis, and that's very much appreciated. If you like our stuff, tell somebody. if you think that they could be remotely entertained, we appreciate that as well. And like you guys said, it's just that, for a while there, just starting this out, we were like asking ourselves, hey, are we doing a show this week? Are we doing a show that week? I don't remember the last time
We
I
checked in
even
like that.
asked to see
Right.
if, hey, are we
Right.
doing a show? No, it's like we are
Oh, it was
doing
the
a show.
opposite.
It's
the other day.
Tuesday.
And we know we did this every
We're like, is it-
Tuesday. It's just
I
it's
just
something
assumed,
that
yeah.
we plan for. Now, you can't make everyone. Life happens, and we communicate though and stuff like that. But
Sure.
we communicate if we can't do it versus making sure that we can. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we keep having fun with this. As long as we keep having fun, that was our agreement that we said we would keep doing it. If it ever started to feel like a lot of work, we would rethink about what we're doing. But certainly hasn't gotten there yet. So kind of on that note too, by the way. So Nick, you're going to be out of town next week visiting family.
Yes,
that'll be the
yeah,
week
that is
of
the
New
plan.
Year's.
As long as no one gets sick and we can't go or anything. So knock on
Yep.
wood. But yeah, that is the plan.
So on that, we talked. Since
So
Nick
if you
is
love this podcast,
planning,
really cross your finger for Nick family to get ill.
oh wow,
Do I get my convincing idiots this week? Yeah, I guess so.
So it's very likely next week, the week of the last week of December, going into New Year's, we will take a little break to spend some
We're
extra
going to give
time
you
with family
some
and friends.
good best of though.
That's right. We'll do a repeat of something.
Gonna make Brian edit shit one way or the other.
Yeah, that's right. Put me to work.
He's got to
One
have
way or the
something in
other.
the bag.
Yeah. No, we'll put something out there for you to listen to, and when we come back again with a new show, we'll get into like a recap of the year and stuff like that. So, but anyway,
You could give me an old episode to edit
Yep.
and just let me see what I can do with it.
Sure, absolutely.
I don't think he's gonna do that
Yeah.
because all the
It's all
things
out.
he usually takes out is what you're gonna put in.
I know, right? it's just Dean, saying the worst shit, saying the word
All-
tit.
Yep.
Never mind. No,
That was
all
Dean with
out.
hair. Bald
No,
Dean doesn't
yeah,
say
that's right.
things like that.
That's
Bald
right.
Dean does not say titty.
Nope.
He doesn't say bad things.
He does
That's
not.
right.
Mm-mm.
That's right. So to all out there, friends, family, listeners, loved ones, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and hope you all can spend some quality time with those that you love out there. So we know that we will, and we're blessed to have them. So cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, boys.
And we'll see you in 22.
Yep. But Nick, do you want to remind the folks where we can be found, sir? And
Absolutely.
Yes,
Well, in the weeks to come, if you don't hear from us and you just miss us so much that you need to go and seek out our voices, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. You can also email us, things like that. You can also find links to all of those on our Linktree, Convincing Idiots, LINKTREE. And there you will find all those links. YouTube, I don't think I mentioned that one. We're obviously there, so you can see our faces. You can also go to our website. That's convincingidiots.wordpress.com. And there you will find all those things, as well as, a little bit about us, things like that. I'm back. Different ways that you can help us out and things like that. And hopefully as the year progresses, maybe if things calm down, maybe we can do some more things out in the public kind of thing, get more people involved and engaged. That would be cool. So maybe we can post things there. But until then, as we've all said, we appreciate you listening. We appreciate you watching, subscribing, anything that you do at all, giving us any of your time. We appreciate you. So for this episode of Convincing Idiots and potentially of all of 2021, I am a millennial and my name is Nick.
Not only am I Xennial Dean, but come back next year because I have it on a good authority that Brian's going to become a nudist in 22 and do all the shows naked. So
to tune in to find out. I'm Brian, Gen X.
Have we convinced you to travel across the Spider-Verse and enter 2022 with us? Don't shoot your web on me, guys.